Hi everyone. So I've been using this iPhone 13 mini for over 4 months now, and I gotta say the love is still there. I wish this would have been the initial 12 mini, then the sale would have tagged so much, but it's here and it's perfect for a lot of people. I already reviewed this phone, but I promised I'll make a long-term review, so here it is. I am going to go over the basis thing, but I'm more going to talk about the experience with this phone. I have gone back and forth with this phone. I've used Pixel 6 in between as S21 FE as well, but here I am back on this phone again. I understand people do not want small phones right now. That 5.4 inch is still not a small phone, but I think for current standard what Android is going on, I think 5.4 is quite small. And because of that reason, a lot of people might not even try this phone and just going to judge it by looking at some videos. I love this size, even though at first it did feel like a tiny small phone, but after using it for a while, it feels like a normal phone and every other phone feels like a giant. No wonder I have been having issues switching to an Android phone, hopefully Galaxy S22. And not just me, my partner loves this phone. Every time she pick it up, she's like, this should be the perfect phone. And she's using S10 right now, that is 6.1 inch. And for her, that's also a big phone. I never feel like I'm going to drop it. I use it without a case for 2 months with no issues. I did get minor scratch on the back, but nothing major. Which brings me to the sponsor of this video. Capes India makes one of the best skins. I have been using skins for a long time, even before starting this channel. And if you're someone who like me who does not like to put phone in the case but still wants to protect it from minor scratches or just want to give it a different look, I think skins are a good way to achieve that. I really like the combination what I'm using right now, and you can go and check the Capes India website and mix and match according to your taste. You can also find a discount link and a discount code in the description box. I know if it's just me or this combination is just growing on me. I know the notch is still there and it does feel boring after looking at all the Android phones, but it doesn't bother me every day, only when I see a new phone. I've used Pixel 6 S21 FE, so I noticed it when I switched back for a few minutes and then it wasn't there. All I'm trying to say, it's not very exciting looking phone, but it's a very comfortable phone to hold. And it's not about the size, it's very lightweight. So it's not difficult to take it out of your pocket. When you're using it at night, you don't feel like you're gonna drop it on your face. And this phone is not going to give you that carpal tunnel syndrome. Yes, I got all of that from my Note 9, and that's the reason I started using compact phones more. Okay, enough about the size. The build itself is quite premium. I also love the symmetrical bezel all around. The smaller phone flat edges do not even hurt your palm as the iPhone 13 Pro Max. The display is also pretty great. I don't watch a lot of movies on it, but I do watch a lot of YouTubes and it does not feel small. See, it's not as shiny as Samsung dynamic display. See, those displays are much better. But if you want a realistic sort of display, I think I can rely on this. So whenever I shoot a video, I watch it on iPhone, not on any Samsung phone, because that way I get to know that if my audience is watching on a very different screens, how it's going to actually look like. And if you take photos and if you put it on social media, you know how it's going to look like. Because whenever I take a photo on Samsung phone and I feel like, oh, that's great colors, but if I watch it on another phone when I put it on social media, it looks different, and that's the reality. So if you really want that realistic sort of display, this is a good one. But if you want very punchy color and something to watch media on, I think Samsung is still going to be the better one. Okay, let's talk about the high refresh rate display as well. I know people are complaining about that it still has 60 Hz, but trust me, the iPhone 60 Hz is still much better than an Android 60 Hz. See, don't give me that crap that I haven't used 120 Hz refresh rate, because I have. I mean, I've been using 120 Hz refresh rate phone alongside with this and iPhone 12. So whenever I come back to this phone, it does not feel laggy or choppy. But whenever I go back to S10 from my S21 FE, you can see the difference. So I think for the refresh rate, I think it comes down to the animation of the UI itself. In that regards, iOS is doing a pretty good job with the 60 Hz display. Okay, let's talk about the biggest concern people have with this phone, and that is going to be the battery life, and for some people the charging speed. So let's talk about charging speed. So it has 20-watt charging, wired charging. I don't use wireless anymore because of the battery health, because it does create a lot of heat. So I use wired charging, and it's a smaller battery, so it does charge pretty fast. So I get 60% in 30 minutes, so that's a great part of it. And about the battery life, I must say I'm pretty impressed. I charge my phone every morning before I go to gym. I use it for music in the gym on 4G, and rest of the day in office is going to be mostly on Wi-Fi. I get a decent 5 to 6 hours of screen on time with over 20% battery life. And for the size, I think it's pretty amazing. Also, the battery life health is still 100%. For camera, it's a pretty standard setup missing a telephoto lens, and I would say the camera overall it's a really good setup except the front camera and the skin tones. I'm not going to go deep into that because I've already compared this with Pixel 6 and S21 FE, so if you want to check the camera comparison you can go check that out. But it is a very reliable setup, it's fast, it's consistent, and it has the best video quality on any smartphone. And no, I'm not talking about the cinematography, just the usual. And with the new OIS system, I think the stabilization has been improved. I realized it when I was comparing with the S21 FE, so go check that out. Rest, all of the basic stuff are pretty usual. I mean, you have the dual speaker, which are great. The haptic motor is really good. It's iPhone. If I talk about Wi-Fi, it's Wi-Fi 6. The quality has been really good with the call reception as well. About the Face ID, I do not have a lot of problem with that. Yes, I do miss fingerprint sensor, but I think with 15.4, you're going to get that unlocked with mask. So I'm not worried about that as well. The only thing I do not like about this phone is still going to be the lightning port. Yes, I miss USB-C. Yes, this is one of the reasons I always think about switching to Android, because I have iPad beside my table and every time I have to charge it, I feel like, oh shit, I have to change the cable and I have to find it. And whenever I'm using Android phone side by this, I mean, you get the point. I realized I never mention processor when I review iPhones. I feel like there is no need to discuss it as I never felt any issue regarding processing, overheating, stress or slowness. And to be honest, I don't even remember if it's A14 or A15. It's A15, right? But I do want to talk about the iOS. Yes, it has gotten a lot better. It's really smooth. And whenever I switch to Android, I miss that feeling that how it just works. I don't feel any sort of stutter issue on Twitter or any other app. The UI is much better on every single app. But it's not perfect. And there are times when you feel it is boring, it's limited, or sometimes it's just irritating. Whenever I switch from Android to iOS, the one feature I definitely miss is the anti-spam calling. Samsung has that inbuilt in the dialer, but otherwise if you're on Android, you can use Truecaller. You have no idea how much time I waste picking up those calls and wasting my time every single day. The file management is still weird. You cannot remove the password from a PDF. I mean, you cannot take a longer screenshot. I also miss the always on display. Or just the notification itself. I mean, the notification is still a mess. Even after the iOS 15, I don't understand that notification grouping. Also, the notification on glass is something that always miss when I come back to iOS. And for some people, it might be side loading the apps. I know I do not miss that, but I think for a lot of people, iOS does lack in a lot of features. But if you have Apple ecosystem, I think it covers up for it. So if you have iPad, Mac, AirPods, I think the combination itself is great. I always like AirPlay over any of those casting system. The AirDrops is also great. The handoff system, or just taking calls on your Mac or iPad when your phone is not around. Everything works seamlessly. I think I will always be confused between Android and iOS because as a working professional, iPhone is just a better choice for me. But as a tech enthusiast, when I want to do something with my phone, I do miss Android. So that was my experience with iPhone 13 mini, and I do recommend this to every single person who likes compact phone, do not care about the iOS limitations, or just want a reliable phone for a long time. Also, this is going to be the last mini that Apple is going to make. So whenever you get the chance or you get the better price, I think you should get it. And this is my favorite phone from last year. And this might be my favorite phone if S22 battery doesn't pan out. If you think I've missed something and there is any confusion, feel free to ask. You can also follow me on Twitter for daily tech discussions. Subscribe me only if you like my content, but I think your engagement matters the most. So do give it a like or just say hi in the comment box. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.